Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. You know, a lot of people have been asking me, can you cut earrings out on a portrait or on a cameo, or even on a Cricut machine? And yeah, you certainly can. Look at these. These are for the upcoming football game, Alabama versus Ohio State. Notice the OHIO. Hopefully that isn't backwards for you. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how easy it is to cut these earrings, whoopsie, out, and how to put them together. Whoops, let's get them right. Let me get it organized for you guys. So you can have super cute little earrings like this that would show your team spirit, whether you're for Ohio State or Alabama. So follow me down below and I'm going to show you how to make these earrings and then how I put them together. See you there. Okay, up here you see all the components that I use to make the earrings, and I'm just going to show you how to make this simple pair today and then how to cut it with your portrait machine. And of course, if it works for the portrait, it will work for the cameo, it'll work for your Cricut, and it'll work for your Cricut Explore Air or Maker. So here's how I made it. So what I did was I just came over here. Now I have the business edition, so that allows me to come here and I see a whole ton of different shapes, right? So the one I decided to use was this one, right? Where is it? Here. Okay, so after I clicked on it to highlight it, I just came over here and drew it out. And I knew I wanted it to be a little less than 2 inches long. So you can make it whatever length you like. The next thing I did was I clicked on it, I held down my shift key and twirled it around because I wanted, whoopsie, this part up at the top right here. But I didn't want it to be that pointy because I was afraid it would rip a hole in it or something, so I decided to make it squared off. So in order to do that to the best of my ability, and I don't like to measure things, I just like to wing it, I just brought this over here like this and centered it on my grid line. And I can scroll in so I can tell, is it really centered? And an easy way to move things in this program is to click on it to select it and hit the arrow keys on your keyboard. It just moves it in small increments. If you ever need it to move in larger increments, you can hold down your shift key and you can see that moves it faster. But if you want it to move in small increments, just don't hold down your shift key and just move it from side to side like that. Whoops, so it's not quite lined up. So I'm going to move it over one more dot. Let's see. Almost. How about one more dot? All right, that's perfect. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to flatten this part out. So what I did was I clicked on this and notice I can't get the nodes to come up yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Object, convert it to a path. Once I've converted this to a path, I'll be able to get the nodes. Watch. If I double click on it, you'll see there are 4 nodes and I can even add one. Well, I'm going to add one right here. And I'm further going to add one right here. So again, I'm using the grid to my advantage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click. And you know what I could do instead of using the nodes? I just thought of this. I could just use the knife tool, right? If I have that lined up exactly where I'd like it to cut off, just come over here and get the knife tool. Maybe uncheck auto apply, have it on straight, and start right here on this line, hold down my shift key and draw a line right across. Nothing's happened yet until I click apply. And then I have exactly what I wanted. So a piece that looks just like that, and I can get rid of this piece here. So this will be my backmost piece, I think. Let's see, did I do that? Yeah, that can be my most back piece. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this to highlight it. And I'll say offset, and I'm going to do an internal offset. And I want it to be sharp lines like this. But what I want to do on this thing is click on it. Whoa. So I'm having trouble selecting him because he's not colored in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the blue guy over, click on this now, and I'll color it a color. Let's make it black. So then I can bring this piece back over here, and I can go ahead and center them again. But this time, like I said, I want to click on the black piece. I'm going to scroll way in because what I want to do is there's going to be a hole in this piece and this piece, and I don't want it to have to be this far down. So I'm going to click on here to add a node, come over here and click, and then I'm going to drag this node. Let's see if that's working right. I think I was dragging the whole thing. No, that worked perfectly. That's what I would like. So there it is. So far, so good, right? So then I had one more piece, and I made it this thing for Ohio State. Let's see. Okay, so Tammy's husband likes Alabama. I had to re-record this part right here because I said he likes Auburn, and he does not like Auburn. He likes Alabama. So I went on to Google and I found this letter for Alabama. And so I will just do a paste. And again, I'm not suggesting this is something you should do for anybody. Certainly don't sell them. But if you're having something fun with the family, I don't think this is going to hurt if you use their A from Alabama. So what I would have to do with this thing is to just go ahead and trace it. Select the trace area. Okay. So you'll notice what it's doing is tracing the outside stuff, right? How can we fix that? How can we make that better? I'll show you an easier way to do this. So what I'm going to do is undo that. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to come up here to this little tool that looks like a half moon. Click on that. And then I'm going to come over here to this one that says invert. Okay, you can see I'm back at the little moon thing up here too. Click on that. And now once I click on that, when I move this to the right, this little slider, watch what happens. Okay, it makes the A the dark thing and the rest of it the light. And that's going to work perfectly now for my tracing. So I'm going to come up here again to the trace tool, select the trace area, and just trace this again. And this time it traced exactly what I wanted. So I'll just say trace. Then I can remove this background part and delete this. And I can actually delete their little thing, because it's a registered trademark. But again, like I said, I am just using this for my dear friend Tammy's and her husband. I'm not selling these or anything. And what I can do now is I can also simplify this. And then I'm going to change its color to something. Maybe, let's see, I need to select it like this. And I can change it to, I'll just say change it to gray for now. So as you know, Alabama's colors are crimson. So I just have red. So I'll make it red and black and gray and white. So let's see, I think I'll make this top thing for this one white. And then when the A shows through, or when the A is cut out of the white, it'll show the black. So that means I need to make one more of these. So that taking the black one, I'm going to go to over here to offset, internal offset. I'll change its color to white so we can see it. Okay, that's not at all the way we want it to be because of this pointy thing. So I'm going to scroll way in. And, okay, I can drag this up here now like this. And I can drag this point up here like this. Trying to make them kind of even. So see how it's kind of even. Let's scroll back out and see what we have. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so now what I can do is I'll take this A, skinny it down so it's going to fit. Now there will be a problem with the way this A is because when I cut it out, well, let's do it. Let's do this. So I'm going to take the white. Let's make it a different color so you can see it more easily. I'll just make it blue for right now. Let's take it off of here and bring this piece over here. So when I cut this piece out and I move the blue back, you're going to see I'm going to lose the middle part of the A, and that will make it kind of weird looking, right? So watch, I'll show you. If I do this, come over here to the modify panel and say subtract, it looks beautiful, right? However, if I move this back over here, look what's missing. The middle part of the A. So What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to add like a little bridge. Okay, so I'm going to make a little cut right here that goes from here into the middle section right here, okay? Right in the letter A. So I'm going to come over here and get a little square again, or the rectangle, draw a little thin one, and just make it come up here. And if I want to, I can move it like this a little bit so it kind of matches. Then the next thing I'm going to do, let's make sure that that's skinny enough. I want it to cut easily but not make a big craziness looking. So I'm going to grab both of these and say subtract, and that cut a hole right out of there. So now I can bring this back into here. And actually, why don't I move the square back over here so we can see how it's going to look before I cut it out. See where we want it to be. Maybe about right there would be good. So I'll move these two pieces out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is grab these two and say subtract, and that cut that A right out of there, but it's still the center part stays. So then I can put these pieces all back together, just like that. And now the last thing that I really need to do is I need to make the holes in here, okay, for the earring. So I'm going to click on this, hold down my shift key, and just draw out a little circle. And I think 0.55 is pretty good. Let's bring it over here and see. Yeah, that looks like that will work pretty well. So I'm going to duplicate that, 1, 2, because I'm going to cut it out of the blue first. I'll grab both of these and say subtract. Then I'm going to put the black back here behind this again and line them both up. So I'm going to line them up center. Then I'm going to bring this on top. There's many ways to do this, but this is just an easy way. Move the blue out and then subtract. And then bring this one back over. Grab both of these and line them up center. And I could move this one up, the black one up a little bit, and then bring this piece back over here, set it right in the same spot, take this out and subtract, and there we have our 3 pieces that are all ready to be cut out. So let's go over to my portrait and cut these, but I'm going to make this gray, so let's change it to gray, or I said white, didn't I? But white or gray, it doesn't matter. Okay. Whoopsie. Oh, okay, there's nothing a problem. I thought the white dot was showing up. So that's cool. All right, let's go to send. Now what I found works well is I have it on leatherette, and I upped my knife depth a little bit. I made it to the 7. Let's see if we just go back to leatherette normally. Let's see, leatherette. There we go. Leatherette. All right, well, mine is on a 7. My force is 33. My speed is 3, and it's going to do 2 passes. So I guess I will do the white first, and let's see how that's going to turn out. I better put these down here because these go with that one. So here's the white one. I'm going to duplicate that, hoping that it's going to work out just fine. Hit Alt and drag, whoopsie. Okay, I've got to go back to design so I can hit Alt and drag one over. So there's one, Alt, and the second one. I'm using the strong grip mat. Okay, I'm using the strong grip mat for this so that I make sure that my leather doesn't move. Originally when I started doing this, I was not using the strong grip mat and my leather moved. I do have the leather with the cloth side down, the leatherette part up. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I have this loaded into my portrait. You're going to see me holding my hands here because even though I used the strong grip mat, I must not have pushed it down well enough on the left-hand side there. So I'm just kind of holding it down with my hands. You need to have it really adhered well to the mat to get a good cut. And especially on this, since it's doing the little teeny tiny delicate A for Alabama. So I'm just going to hold that and let it go. And in just a moment when it finishes, you'll see that I don't take it out of the machine until I test it and make sure that it appears to have cut it correctly. So here's where I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to peek. Look at my little monkey keeping track of what I'm doing. Okay, they cut beautifully. This little portrait is a gem, I'll tell you. There's so many things you can do with it for fun. So I'll take these off, and I'm thrilled with how the letter A came out. I was trying to show it to you, but maybe you can see there. Yeah, you can. And then actually the little A that it cut out, it left the perfect little A even on the mat there that I could use for something if I wanted to. But put on my little monkey. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my machine and change what I'm putting on the mat. Okay, I'm back in the software, and I forgot to keep separate the two different colors, the one Ohio State ones and the ones that were for Alabama. So I've got to rearrange these now, so make sure I have the right ones. That is not the right one because the hole is large. There we go. So I'm going to duplicate these now. For some reason I must have gotten rid of the extra one. So let me hold down the Alt key on my keyboard and just duplicate over another black one and another red one. I'm moving the gray ones over to the right hand side because I'm finished with those. Usually I like to start with things I have yet to cut on the left. The things that I'm cutting are on the mat, and on the right are the things I'm done with. So now I'm going to do the black ones, and I'll click on send for those and send those as well to my machine. Okay, as you'll notice here, I do turn the mat on the back side and use a squeegee to scrape it on to make sure that it is really well adhered. And I'll just put this one in and let it cut. This one should be much quicker than the last one because there's not the intricate letter A that I needed to slow it down for. So here we go, and I'm going to poke out the holes on these A's. I could use my pokey tool, or in this case I'm using a seam ripper. The pen would work just as well, or even just a pen would work. So as soon as this is done, I'll test these to make sure they've cut properly, and then I'll do the red color, and I'll meet you back here when it's all finished and I'm ready to assemble them. Perfect. Okay, this is just a little container of findings, I think they're called, that when my sister was working along with me, Jean Frieda, she had gotten me this little set. So I'm going to put these together. All that I need are two of the little jump rings and then the earring piece, and I'll just put one together. You just open this little jump ring up and then start feeding your things through, the last one first, and putting them on top of each other, just the way they would look if you were wearing them as earrings. After I have the three pieces on, then I go ahead and twist that jump ring so it's closed, And then I get out a second one. Now, some of you may know a lot more about jewelry than I do. This is as much as I know. I get the second jump ring out because it makes it so that my earring faces the right way. And you'll understand what I mean if you make a pair of these. As I said, I'm no jewelry maker, so there might be a better way to do this, an easier way. But this has worked for me for the few sets of earrings that I have made. So again, I use 2 jump rings and then the earring, the pierced earring thing folder. And then that makes it go the right way. So that's pretty much all there is to this. I think they turn out super cute. And they're very easy. And again, you can cut these with any machine that you might have. You can design them in silhouette. And of course, there are lots of them that you could go ahead and buy, whether from Etsy or Silhouette store, or probably even the Cricut store. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I go live, and you'll be sure not to miss any. Again, hey, if you guys have any suggestions for something you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you all again soon. And by the way, I will be announcing the winner from our contest, our giveaway for the portrait. It's going to end Wednesday, January 6th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you have your unscrambled word in by then to teampattyann@gmail.com. So good luck, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.